Okay, so today I'll be taking a look at the Absima CR4T transmitter. We'll be having a look at some of the features included with it, and basically showcasing the touchscreen on it and all the different features that holds. I guess we'll start off by taking a look at the actual transmitter itself. So obviously it's a steer wheel transmitter. It takes 4 AA batteries, they are included. So if we look at the wheel, it's got a nice soft, like a sort of foam rubbery cushion around it. Probably one of the nicest I've seen actually, much nicer than my Spectrum one that I had before. You've got trim switches around the wheel. Up here there's 3 of them, so steer and throttle, and I think one of them's for channel 3. You can program whatever you want them to do. You've got a switch down here, so that's switch number 3 under here. It's kind of sealed away. I guess that's probably not one that you'd use a lot. You've got switch number 1 here, which I guess is probably like maybe if you had a timer or a different channel set. And switch number, sorry, this is switch 1, and that's, oh, they're both switch 1, sorry. I've confused myself. That's switch 2 back here. They're all relatively easy to press. And then the triggers back here. The wheel itself can be rotated quite a lot. There's a lot of adjustment, so it can come this way or that way. You just slacken these screws and you can rotate it and it clicks into place. You can also change the transmitter if you're left-handed, so you can have the wheel on this side and you take off this blanking plate, take off this wheel assembly, unplug it, plug it in here, put that plate on this side to blank that, and it basically just looks like this from the other side. The design's almost completely symmetrical. The grip for the transmitter is replaceable, so it includes, this is a small one that's on it, and that can be changed for a large one that's in the box. That's quite a nice feature, because if you have, depending on the size of your hands, that is quite an important thing for the comfort of using the transmitter. It's quite nice to hold. It's definitely not heavy. I mean, it's not too light, but it's not too heavy as in, like, you know, old transmitters that took 8 AA's. It's quite easy to hold. The trim number 4 and 5 are here. These are the little dials. They pass through to the other side of the transmitter, so if you're left or right handed, again, it's easy. Everything's symmetrical. This is the included receiver. It's a 4-channel receiver, and these 2 ports up here, they are the telemetry ports. So if we have a look at the telemetry sensors, they're these little modules. With this one is the voltage one, so you can measure voltage, and they all chain together in like a little piggyback system, so there's an input and output for each one. This one here is the temperature sensor, and the last one is the speed sensor. So they will plug into the input on the receiver, and then there's also an output for things like I believe this sells some other sensors. I think there's a magnetic speed sensor and different things like that. There's also another receiver which has a lot more features, I think, for telemetry. I haven't really looked into that, but the included receiver is more than enough. It does all the features that it comes with on the box. Binding is really simple. It just comes with a bind plug, just like on a Spectrum transmitter. It's just a looped wire between the negative and the signal wire. Plugs in at the top port, and you basically plug that in with the car switched off, go into your transmitter, tell it to bind, turn on the car, and that's it, done. Turn everything off, pull the bind plug out, and you're good to go. There's a status indicator under here, a little LED, tells you what's going on, if it's bound or if it's not. That's pretty much all to say. I mean, it's a coaxial aerial, so it's got a little protector on the top so you don't damage the tip of the aerial. And that's pretty much it. It's not the smallest receiver in the world, but it's definitely not too big. I mean, it doesn't weigh a lot either, so it's definitely not a problem. Okay, so we'll now take a look at the software and the screen on the transmitter, which is basically the main selling point for it. It's quite a large screen. It's full colour. I mean, if we take a look at it next to your average smartphone, so There, for comparison, this is a 4.3 inch screen on this phone, so it's quite a big display. If we power it up, you'll see a nice little animation, and it also makes a little sound, so we'll turn it on. And as soon as you power it up, you find it has your voltages and the different characteristics of your trims and what's going on with your servos. So if we move the wheel, you'll see these moving, and if you move the trigger, these ones will move. These are for your channel 3 and 4. You've got things telling you what features you have activated. So if you press switch number 2, I've programmed it to do this. It brings up telling you that you have throttle idle up, and switch 3, I have to turn the ABS on and off. So if we press that, it goes away or it comes back. If you press this little question mark, now if you look at the unboxing that I've done, you would have noticed that there was no instruction manual, which may seem odd, but the instruction manual is actually contained within the transmitter, which is quite good. I mean, it lets you skip, basically if you're stuck with one feature, that feature is highlighted right there, so you don't need to look through an instruction manual. It tells you exactly what you need to know about that. So if you press that, it has a bit of a general manual telling you what everything means, and you can scroll through it, and it explains all the different buttons, all the different pages, the back button, and turning things on and off, selecting models, what the different like you have the scroll wheel to select values and stuff. It tells you, it explains everything really well. Now if we look at this little icon here, which looks like a sort of some gears similar to the settings icon on a smartphone, and that's pretty much exactly what it is. You press that button, it takes you to all your different settings. So I won't go through them all, but you've got everything basic like reverse, servo reverses, endpoints, sub trims, steering, mixing, throttle mixing, ABS, setting throttle center points, servo center points, throttle idle up, bolt mode, display what's happening with servos, and programming the functions of the keys, race timer, models. It has a massive model memory. I believe it's about maybe goes to 20, yeah, so 20 models, more than anybody would need, I'd imagine. I think if you've got more than 20 models, you maybe got problems. So you have receiver set up, so you can change the frequency which the receiver operates on. You have battery monitoring, fail-safe, display the sensors, which is your telemetry, servo frequency, servo setup, all that. You've got system, which is things like the backlight, so just now I have it on 100%. From the factory it's on 50. I've just got it on 100 so you can see it nicer for the camera. On 100 it does eat your batteries pretty quickly, although the ones that are included are only 1000 milliamps, but I mean they're great, considering that they're included, they're great, and they do work fine if you've got 50% backlight. You've got backlight timeout, auto power off, so after 5 minutes of inactivity the transmitter will give you a warning, and then after another 5 minutes it will turn itself off. You have USB functions, so none, or CR4T emulator, which means if you have VRC you can plug that in and directly with a USB cable, and I can confirm it works perfectly, there's no problems. Plug it in and it just works. I've been using it and it works great. You can change the units, so you have metric and imperial, and temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit, which is quite good because if you're American and you like Fahrenheit or wherever you're from. Factory reset, and about the transmitter, it tells you your firmware version and things like that. So this build was only implemented not very long ago, about a month ago. So I'll show you what things are like. So if we go into the servo reverse, it's really straightforward. So it tells you channel 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you can have normal, reverse. It's really that that straightforward. This button here will reset to default. Are you sure? Yes or no? And it does that for you. Endpoints is pretty similar. You use the wheel or your throttle to choose what endpoint you want to adjust, so left or right, forward or reverse, and then you simply use this wheel and drag it back and forward depending on what you want to set. Again, just reset to default if you want, which takes everything to 100%. You have steer and speed, which is quite a good feature, so that means you can change the actual speed that the servo will turn. Say your servo is too fast for your liking, you can adjust that. And you have throttle turning and then return, so you can have the servo go really fast but take a bit longer to center, things like that. You have ABS, which has all the different features, so you've got like brake return, so that's how much brake it will apply, well, how much it will return from your setting, and then cycle length, trigger point, so when you want it to kick in, things like that. There's sub trims as well, which is quite useful, so you can set your center point for the servo. Throttle idle up, so if you've got a nitro car and you are having trouble starting, or you just want to warm up for a race, for instance. I'm probably not giving great examples because I don't run nitro, but you get the idea. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You set that value, assign a button to it, you press that button and it basically adds 15%, or I think it goes all the way up to 50 maybe. Yeah, 50%, so you could add that. It's pretty simple. So we'll look at, you've got a race timer, which is there's not much to say about that. You can have it going up, down, lap timer, lap memory, start, stop, reset. It's pretty simple. We have an engine cut, which I think would be more for like a petrol engine car. I'm not too sure about that. I'm mainly electric, so engine cut. If you're interested in it, you'll probably know what it is. So I guess we could consult the manual with a little question mark. It ignores the throttle triggers and set the throttle servo to a predefined position. It can be used to turn off the ignition of a gas-powered vehicle. There you go. So there's an example of using the menu. So basically, if you don't know what a function is, or you want to learn more about it, you press a little question mark, and it brings up a really nice little display telling you what it's about, and a little picture as well. We've got brake mixing, bolt mode, so it really does have pretty much everything you would want. Throttle neutral, throttle expo, throttle curve, so you can set a curve. So you're low, 2, 3 and 4, and high. So you can adjust that. I've not set one up yet, so that's why it's not working. Steer and expo, steer and speed again, steer and mix, so if you've got a crawler and you're using multiple servos, or you've got 4-wheel steering on a monster truck or whatever, you can do that. You've also got throttle mix as well somewhere, I think. Brake mixing, sorry. So if you've got an electric conversion on a nitro car and you want to keep the mechanical brake, that's brilliant. It means you can mix channel 3 or 4 with this throttle, so when you brake it applies this mechanical brake. That's pretty much it. The telemetry, I've tested some of them out and it will work on 3.7 volts, so if you've got a GT12 or 12 scale car you can do things like that. The temperature sensor, everything refreshes pretty quickly, so everything's up to date. It does work really well. Obviously, the little modules that they have aren't ideal, I guess, but oh, my batteries are going flat. I'll turn that off. So they're not ideal, but they're definitely not a problem. It is quite good because it does give you a bit more cable to work with, and you can position that pretty much anywhere. It doesn't, as long as it's not exposed or anything. That's all I've really got to show you. It's a really nice transmitter. First impressions when I took it out of the box definitely were great. The quality's definitely there. The plastics don't really feel cheap at all. It's got a nice shiny bezel around it. It's not metal, but you wouldn't be mistaken for thinking it's metal. The stylus that I've been using to point things on the menu is included in that slide. That's actually up here. I didn't even notice it until I saw it on the website, so that just slides in there. So that's pretty much it. The cover on the wheel does come off, so it can be replaced later if it starts to wear. Oh, and of course there's the USB port back here. It's just covered, and you can plug that straight into the computer. That's all I've got to say about the new Absima CR4T transmitter. It really is a nice transmitter, one of the nicest wheel transmitters I've used. Again, the touchscreen is just brilliant. I mean, I don't want to sound too biased or anything, but the screen really is quite nice, and it does make a good change from using just like a standard LCD. It's really intuitive. The system's not difficult to get used to at all. It's probably one of the easiest to use simply because the menu's there, and if you get stuck on anything, it does tell you really simply and plainly what it does and how to use it. Just now, the transmitter is on SMD Direct, and it is, I believe, £150 at this time of the video, which compared to some Spectrum radios definitely is competitive. And I would like to thank SMD for sending this out, and I will have some links in the description to the transmitter, and hopefully if I can find the receivers and all that, they will be there as well.